I'm Daemonxel, and this is your Eve Echoes Weekly Community News, where we take a deep dive into all the happenings of the week. But first, if you can tag that subscribe button, ring that bell, share and like the video, then of course, you get to stay updated with everything that we do here on the channel. Now, we do have some stories to get into this week, but first, I do want to make a correction from last week's video, where I had everything correctly, but for some reason, my mind did not meet up with my mouth. The Honk Solar Ghost cap kill mark, that was 1,000 kill marks, not 100. That's why it was such a story. It was because it was 1,000 kill marks on that cap, and for some reason my brain just or my mouth just kept saying 100 instead of the 1,000 that it actually was. So I do apologize to the Honk member for making it trivial when it actually was not a trivial amount. Another minor correction would be the story of Beck missing for over a month and a half. And yes, he was missing. However, he did return maybe about a day or two before the video came out. But since I already made the artwork, we all thought it would be funny to just still put it out there with Beck on the back of a milk carton. He did return from his hiatus, and that's what's going to lead us into this first story, which you might have seen or not if you peruse Reddit. There's been multiple threads about Lynnwood and his personal Discord server being hacked and destroyed. One such of the Reddit post was called "The Work of a Silent Puppet." Another such thread would be "The Northern Entities Must Disband." Lynnwood contacted me about this. He said that Beck came into his Discord after he removed himself from other Discords and kicked all of his members and ruined his server by deleted all of the channels. In one of these threads, Beasts of the South members are calling that the audit logs showing this was actually photoshopped. So we had to do a story about this. So I asked Lynn to give me a timeline leading up to the destruction of the server. I also asked him, why did Beck have owner or admin rights to the server? And why does he feel that this was, does he feel that this was a personal or a political move made towards him? Lynnwood states that he made Club Lynnwood as a server for people to come together, put politics aside, and fly together whether they were red or blue. He says the server was great, there was no big alliance politics telling us no. He wanted to put bots into the server but didn't know how to, and he saw that Beck was really good with bots from the Gulag server, and he asked him to add the bots for him as he did. Now, he did have to give him moderator roles to maintain the bots, and states that he never had an issue with Beck as one of his mods of the server. So not until after he was kicked from No Please Stop. A day later, I left about every Eve affiliated server but my own, and then I'm at work, phone going off of Discord. Figured it was just my DM. I go on break to find out that Beck came into the server to delete everything and tried to get a reaction from me. I feel that this was personal and political for how anti-silent I've been over the last few months, and Beck being pro-silent. Lynnwood goes on to say that he wouldn't doubt if Michael J.D. encouraged him to do so. Lynnwood then states that he's never done anything like this to anyone, and he hopes that it doesn't happen to anyone else, and he took to Reddit to let the player base know this is how the North does their ops to run players out of the game. First was J-Factor, then they started on Alondria, and now me. Even on Reddit, Bot5 started attacking me saying that I photoshopped the screenshots. Black Archibald probably realized how much of an ass he made of himself, hopefully, and switched his target back to Alondria. I never asked for any sympathy. I'm just showing everyone how dirty in tactics the North operates. I was once in Silent, and I'll never join that alliance again. MGD says that I was kicked from Silent, and that is 100% false. I left. So they blacklisted me for trying to save my first coalition, Pantheon. And to clarify, Beck never had admin rights. He kicked everyone that wasn't a executive. So again, I told Black Archibald, or as most know him on Reddit as Tommy Truck, silent intel isn't good intel. Funny also how each time Silent opens a can of worms they can't handle, they send their spineless Black Archibald as I'm defending my case. This is how Silent pilots responded. He goes on to say that they're very uncultured. The North is anything but toxic rancor. They have no decency for anyone's property, and if you try to defend yourself and your case, all evidence is photoshopped and Silent is good. and you're bad, and you get criticized for making a stand against them and their bullying arts. For an alliance that is supposedly big on community, has proven everything but on Reddit a few days ago. Sanctioning Beck's actions, Lynnwood finishes up with saying that if he's not mistaken, Silent and No had Pantheon kick a whole Corp out for making a death threat instead of the pilot, but yet they give Beck a slap on the hand and a biscuit. I don't know you, but it's 100% hypocrisy. Silent has to go. They've become worse than what GenFed was. Now, I did reach out to Zen, the leader of the Silent Federation, asking him if the actions of Beck against Lynnwood was anything to do with Silent. Zen stated that correct, we were completely uninvolved in whatever happened, so much so that I have no idea on the details of what actually happened there. So I followed up with, does Silent condone this behavior from one of their own to someone within the community? And once Zen got familiar with actually what happened, he did give me a statement. The statement reads, "We don't regulate outside entities' discords. Whomever an outside entity chooses as their admin and the actions those admins choose to take is on them. It's outside our sphere of control. This is why we as an organization virtually require our own groups to reach trustworthy admins that are Federation members. We have seen these type of issues with corporations and alliances in the past, and Beck has had to recreate entire discords for Fed members that have had their discords destroyed by similar type activities. Overall, I'm glad to have Beck back in action after almost a month-long hiatus due to unforeseen in real-life events." And I went ahead and asked Beck himself, since there were multiple threads, what happened with Lynnwood's Discord server? Was it a Silent move or was this personal? And Beck basically stated that this had nothing to do with Silent. No one in Silent even knew it happened until after all the Reddit posts and the gulag. And I asked Beck, does he have an official statement? And Beck's official statement is, "I'm back, motherfuckers." Now, I did see how everything come across in real time on the Gulag server as the Lynnwood server was being destroyed. And Beck hasn't given me a personal reason why he has done this, but we will keep an eye on exactly what goes on from here to see if this develops into any other story, or if this possibly will be a catalyst to some kind of war or skirmish. Our next story also involves Silent Federation. This time in one of their corporations, NEV, where it was brought to my attention that their citadel in system GY5 Tech 26 was attacked by fellow Silent members, and I was told that they were being forced to merge into Silent and disband their corporation. Now, my source told me that the reason for this was that NEV was not making CTAs as much as Silent stated, as much as they wanted them to attend. Now, through the screenshots I was sent, and I was told that the leader of NEV came in, dropped the line in general chat on the Silent server, and then immediately dropped Corp and Alliance and also left the Discord. His statement was, "Hey guys, thought I'd ping you in general chat too. I'm sorry I work multiple jobs. I'm sorry my wife is struggling with mental illness. I'm sorry I have a 3-year-old. I appreciate that you're all busy as well, but hey, some of us just don't have as much time for video games. Thanks for your time. Hope you all have a great evening." Another NEV member also stated that having a conversation with yourselves instead of involving those that it impacts sounds about right, as if you don't have another channel where you are all currently talking and where you planned all of this anyway. There are more people in NEV leadership channels, you are correct. None of us got a single word about any of this. We received an @everyone ping, just like everyone else here, as a blue fleet stripped the shields of our citadel, and we were told that we have 24 hours to decide whether we are leaving Silent or merging with another corporation. What a slap in the face for the pilots who have been a part of Silent since its founding. He goes on to state that, and while we may not historically be the biggest PvP corporation there is, we have been a part of every single war and historical event this Federation has seen. We contributed a large part to the SRP from the beginning, when we were all flying stabbers and thrasher cans to CTAs, all the way through and beyond insurance. We built one of the first citadels in the game, and we remember the fall of Come At Bro. NEV led a small gang raids on VFK against Fish and OB regularly, and fought consistently in the year-long war against Fireflies. We have developed programs for our pilots to promote reinvesting in our members to both spread and generate wealth. Our leadership team, Lilith, Golden Onion, Slither Hobbs, Dafty, have contributed in many ways to Federation programs, and we have tried to offer those avenues of involvement other than pure PvP CTA attendance. Many of us have demanding work schedules, and CTA times don't always leave us in a position to be able to join. There are various reasons, and we make an effort to contribute in other ways, like flying defense in Federation space regularly, zeroing our considerable PI stocks at a moment's notice, and selling at a discount to Federation to help boost the capital ship program. Now that's obviously from a passionate line member, and through these screenshots, you can see that communication has broken down between Silent Leadership and the leaders of NEV Corporation. Now, I reached out to several people to get a bead on exactly what was going on here. Of course, one being Zen, the leader of the Silent Federation. So I asked Zen that I heard that, Silent had turned on one of its own and was this Blue Citadel strike and demand that pilots leave NEV to join other corporations purely done for a poor CTA attendance. And Zen states that these actions weren't taken solely due to the poor performance in CTA ops as a corporation. We distribute standards and metrics to all corporations, talk about incentives and programs to assist the corporations on how to meet those metrics, and cover any and all questions about all of our various programs. We recently inquired their CEO and officers in our leadership server, and they chose not to respond to inquiry for over a week. They failed to distribute all the relevant information and programs to their pilots or inform their officers of the expectations our alliance has for its SOV holding corporations. This corporation and its leadership failed to meet metrics for the entirety of my tenure, about 9 months. Multiple conversations were had with their corp leadership about how to improve and meet these goals. After the removal of the shields on their structures, we were able to make direct contact with their line pilots, talked with more than 10 times their average CTA participation in minutes. It was sad to hear that these pilots were left in the dark as to our standard metrics and programs. Even their officers were oblivious to the situation at hand and the failures of their corporation leadership to lead them to succeed. I can no longer stand by, and now their pilots are merging into other corporations that have more engaged and successful corporation leadership. I also reached out to Michael JD for a comment. He stated it was just a simple merger. The leadership failed to meet corporation requirements and relay to their people for months, then went silent. Their members are on board with merging, just a few folks who want to be in charge for the sake of being in charge that held up the process. I asked that if the attack on the Blue Citadel was this to be a merger by force. He says no, he's just helped begin to flip to SJI, so the NEV pilots who are merging there will keep their home. I also reached out to fellow content creator Rambo, since he is a CEO within Silent Federation. I asked him, as a fellow Silent CEO, do you support the action taken against this Silent corporation? Rambo states, I think the situation like this is individual to each corporation. For instance, the same thing can happen to my corporation for reasons decided by the Federation leadership. The reasoning would be unique to my corporation as it is to theirs. Whether I like it or not, of course, myself and other CEOs of the major corporations in Silent have ways or plans to deal with the issues that may put us in the spotlight. In this case with NEV and what happened last night, personally I support it. It's not because NEV's CEO is not playing due to real-life concerns, but more so the size and economy of the corporation. Silent has standards. They have failed to accommodate and appropriately meet these standards. Was hitting their structures the right thing to do? I suppose it can go either way. Silent leadership has been trying to contact NEV leadership for approximately 10 days, I'm told, with 0 answers back, so they turned to gunpoint diplomacy, which it did work. The CEO made a post about being away to Zen in general chat and the reasoning for his absence, which is fine. Silent respects real-life first responsibilities, but the lack of communication about anything from NEV leadership. Then the CEO left the Alliance Discord. Who is to say that Silent will follow up with those timers? They may not put them into Hull. The members of NEV got awakened and will now see the reality of missing leadership. I think the CTA called was a surprise to everyone, also an eye-opener to everyone of what could happen due to failed or lack of leadership. Silent maintains a good line of communication to every corporation within, as they state. If they say NEV leadership is MIA, it probably is, and this is their way of waking up the corporation. Same thing can happen to any corporation within Silent, even mine. Now, of course, I did want to reach out to the NEV Corporation and their leadership within, and I was able to get a hold of one of their leaders. I spoke to Schiller Hobbs and stated, did you have an official statement on behalf of NEV about everything that was going on? And he stated that after some internal discussion, he'll have to make an official no-comment response, and that they'll be focused on getting their pilots situated in their new homes. So it looks like this was just all a breakdown of communication between corporation and alliance leadership, and it could happen anywhere within any alliance, and should be a message to every line pilot out there within New Eden to keep open channels within your own personal leadership to make sure that you know what's going on within your group and the greater group that your group belongs to. Good luck to all the NEV pilots, and if anything else should come of this, of course we'll report on it. In other news this week, there was a strike back with Silent against... No, yes, this is a very Silent-centric episode. There's not a lot of news out there, but Silent's been making a lot of this news. Apparently, no police stop has been hitting them quite often over the last few weeks with cap raids, killing off a lot of their caps, but Silent was able to capture and kill 2 of their caps the other day in System 9F Tech 7PZ within Branch. The 2 nags were bubbled and then taken down by the cap fleet that hot dropped within them. And Michael JD even states that he can confidently say that these guys have been bleeding us dry over the past few weeks. They are cautious, expert hunters, and it was simply a rule of numbers that we would eventually catch up to them. Respect to these ballsy pilots. So it's just some good old-fashioned great PvP amongst pilots. Now, if you've noticed, we've been at peace for a little while now, so it's up to players to make their own content. Currently, right now, there is that Citadel, which is a King of the Hill situation, over 8 jumps out of Jita, sponsored by No Police Stop, Silent, and Brethren Court. But others have taken it upon themselves to make their own content as well. If you remember Weird Bob, the creator of the Death Roams, and as everyone could attest, his evil interceptor roams has also been running some not purple shoot-it fleets, and they've been getting some big results. This past week on one trip they've actually got 3 specific kills that were very nice. One was a Orca worth 5.9 billion. There was also a Nidhogger 35.8 billion, as well as a Thanatos 39.4 billion. So be advised, if you see Weird Bob, there's probably a fleet behind him. And just a note to all those to go out and make your own content. Make the game what it is for you. If you crave PvP, just grab some folks, go out there and hunt, and just have some fun. If not, do participate in some of the new PvE content. But the game is what you make of it. I also want to announce the reformation of the SIXT Alliance for all your mercenary needs. Perpetua was interviewed by Mackenzie this past Sunday on the Eve Echoes radio show, where he stated that this was just about a seamless reformation and it happened just about overnight when it was first announced at the SIXT Discord. Pilots and corporations flocked back underneath that banner to form it again, and they want everyone to know that they are recruiting, but also advise that they are pirates at heart that take on mercenary contracts. And for those that are interested in checking them out, or joining, or for hiring them, I'll have the Discord link for them below in the description. This week in the Corporation Alliance Spotlight is OG. Now, not for recruiting purposes, even though you may know that OG is always recruiting, but this is more for OG's birthday. That's right, since the game itself has turned 2, we have our 2nd anniversary for this month. OG was actually formed around the 30th or 31st of August 2 years ago. Now, with this birthday party, it's stated that Sandman, the leader of OG, will be having a raffle of all OG members, and he's going to give out some random goodies, some really good things, so to some random OG members. So not only happy birthday to Eve Echoes, but happy birthday to OG, you crazy unicorns out there. Have a great birthday party. Before we jump right into the big kills of the week, I do have an honorable mention. And it comes with a PSA that when you are using a travel fit for a faction battleship, always have a scout, especially when it is an integrated rig battleship, as this rattlesnake pilot learned with his 3 billion kill mail. Alright, first up we have the Brethren Court, and they give us a 15.8 billion Vindicator kill this week, 3 Orca kills, one at 10.9, one at 11.1, and the other at 10.7 billion. SIXT Alliance gives us a two Macarials, one at 5.2 billion, and the other at 7.9 billion. No Please Stomp gives us a Charon Freighter kill worth 18.1 billion, a 7.1 billion Nightmare kill, and a 7.1 billion Orca kill. Silent Federation gives us a 9 billion APOC Striker kill, a 10.3 billion Orca kill, a 9.5 billion Rattlesnake, a 6 billion Balgorn kill to finish them off. Red Machine gives us a 6.2 billion Vindicator kill. The Space Cow is coming in with a 7.9 billion Macarial kill. Boop gives us a 6.5 billion Garmer kill, as well as a 9.8 billion Balgorn kill. OG gives us a 7 billion Balgorn kill, and to finish us off in the big kills category is Serenity with a 11.3 billion Vindicator kill. Next, we're going to move right into the cap kills of the week. No gives us a Naglfar kill at 37.2 billion, a Phoenix kill at 38.3, a Nidhogger at 36.4, a Revelation at 41.6, and a Thanatos to round it out at 35 billion. Silent Federation and the Beasts of the South gives us a 45.9 billion Revelation kill, 3 Nidhoggers, one at 33.8, one at 35.4, and the last at 39.5, as well as 2 Naglfar kills, one at 38.9 billion, the other at 38.2 billion. And Brethren Court gives us a Nidhogger kill worth 34.2 billion. Now we're going to move right into the solo kills of the week, and that's right, that's everyone's favorite part of the show. That's a chance to win a free Omega combo. Now we've broken it up into 2 categories, one industrial, one PvP. Starting us off in the industrial category, we have Blackman with a 3.7 billion Orca kill, Hordy with a 6.7 billion Badger 2 kill, and the winner of this week is Grisizu Chirazu, sorry, I am butchering this name, with a 6.732 billion Nereus 2 kill. Now moving right into the PvP section, we have Dracus Lionheart with a 540 million, Philaz Scout with a 2.1 billion Raven Striker kill, Admiral Berger with a 2.6 billion Typhoon 2 kill, and winning this week in the PvP category is Ron Solo with a 5.1 billion Succubus kill. Congratulations on winning, guys. Hit me up on Discord, and I'll tell you how I'm going to get that prize out to you. Now, if you need more news in your life, you know I'm going to send you to a couple different places. First is Sky News, Russia's premier Eve Echoes outlet for news. They got a great production team over there. All the videos are in Russian, but don't worry, they do have English subtitles. And of course, there's always the legendary Echoes of New Eden podcast with Rambo and Taylor Rick. Now, they get together every Thursday night to put on this show. And if you want to be part of that live studio audience, all you have to do is jump into their Discord every Thursday. And lastly, there is the New Eden radio show. They have a great show every Sunday where the community gets together. We listen to music and we talk about what's going on in the community. So I suggest you check out those 3 places. And that's going to do it for us. But until I talk to you guys again, I want you to have a great week. Have a great weekend. Fly safe. And remember, we're always one vision, one purpose, one front.